G'day YouTube, welcome back to my channel and another video on black pines and what to do with them in summer. You would have seen the previous video of me initially styling this tree. It's a very large flat based black pine with lots of aerial roots, kind of Nagari style. I put this wire in here to suggest a possible front. Now I left it in there because it is quite a range, but that's possibly the front I'm looking at in here. Now I did a lot of cutbacks and trimming and so on, just to see what happens and where it buds and so on. But as you can see, candles are huge on this, which is understandable because there's not much candles and not much buds, so all the energy is going into just the buds that are there. So aim of today is probably this is the first time this tree is going to start the refinement process. This tree is starting the refinement process while I'm building a lot of the branches as well. So when I mean by that is we start to decandle the tree. This is the first year I'm doing it, so I'm hoping we get, so you see the one, you get two in that spot and build the tree up again around that. I do notice some problem areas. For example, there's 3 in this spot, that's a problem. So we'll just have to reduce down to take that middle one off and cut the other 2 back, and hopefully just start to build the tree out again. When there's 3, the middle one goes, the 2 side ones, you trim them off as well, but you want to use the 2 side ones, not the middle one, to get your next lot of buds. But yeah, I'm going to treat this tree exactly the same as the other black pines that are in refinement stage. It's just this is the first time that I'm doing it on this tree, so I just treat it exactly the same way. I do notice a lot of dead needles, but that's because the wire is hugging around them, and that's what's caused them to go like that. So try and clean them up as much as possible. It's an interesting tree. I think it's got a lot of potential, but it's many years away from being show ready. So yeah, just want to continue developing it. But let's start the refinement process. This will probably need a bit of needle plucking a lot more than the other trees, just to even out all the foliage and the branching. So that's one definite thing we have to do more of. So I've got to be careful of that. So just like before, let's start at the top and decandle everything. Wow, so huge. And the smaller, and these are the smaller ones. So everything comes off. So that's the apex that I've twisted and trying to get more buds. I didn't get any back buds, but maybe now we'll get some back buds. The tree's going to look pretty naked after this, but that's what the point is. Now it's going to be in refinement, and it's going to be pushing out multiple buds. This process that I'm doing right now is going to be pretty easy, pretty quick, because there's not that many candles. This is a problem spot in here. I'll have to fix that in autumn, where I'll thin it out. So it's pretty straightforward. Go through, all the candles come off at the base where they're growing. You'll notice the base because that's where it's very bare before there's needles underneath it. So you know that's pretty much the base of that candle. This is the first year I'm doing it, so in May will be a very good chance to start our bud selection, get all the branching we want selected, and build the tree properly after that. You can see I'm working almost down to the lower branches already. Only taking me a few minutes, and I'm almost there. But I do want to go back through it and needle pluck the areas that are too heavy and even out the growth. So I might leave some of the inner buds because I want to develop them. Front, and then I'm kind of done. Alright, I think I'm pretty much done the initial chop. So you can see the structure, it looks very messy, incredibly messy. Now I'm just going to go out and thin out some of the areas, just to try and even out the growth on each branch. Like I'm just trying to, for every area I'm just going to have the same amount of candles, trying to make the same amount of candles here, here, trying to balance that out. It's a bit trickier with this one, because it's a bit more raw, but let's give it a try. So first I just try and get rid of the dead candles, dead needles. In this area there's not that much, so I probably have to leave as many there as I can. In this spot I might have to pluck a bit more. I'll just pluck. So see, I left that many, there's that many here, there's that many here. So just certain areas, so where there's a branch, I guess, you're going to have the same branch will have the same amount of candle needles as everywhere else. This has got a lot of ugliness, but we get in there. So leave that together. I'd like this bit to develop a bit more because this stuff's too far out now. So there's a nice bud in there. Maybe that eventually we'll cut back to that. So we'll try and develop some of this area here. So we'll see how that goes. Thin it out. Much thinner. Okay, so we've got to make sure we balance all the rest out to about that. So there's a lot more work in this one compared to my other pines that you saw, but because this is the first time, that's probably why it needs a bit more harder effort. So this one's done, so you can see it's quite thinned out, similar to that size. So let's work that down here. I think you're getting the idea. I don't want to show you every single step, but I think you're getting the idea. You're thinning out, so that's about that branch. This one's very similar to that now. Let's try and make all of them about the same amount of needles on there. So with the same amount of needles on each branch, the tree should feed them the same amount of energy, and you should get the same amount of candle growth. So that's all bud growth. So that's the theory behind it, and let's hope that works, especially in this tree's case. So it shouldn't be a problem. But I just might speed through this and then show you the result at the end of this. So be back in a couple of minutes. Alright, so quick view of what it looks like afterwards. It's pretty empty and pretty ragged, but it's a good first trimming and summer prune of this tree and decandling job and needle plucking. So there's a lot more needle plucking done on this one. So now it's kind of every branch is kind of balanced out now. So that's the good news. Looks terrible, which is the bad news, but in May, I reckon it'll be a much better looking tree, and we'll see the huge difference in what it looks like in May compared to now, and you'll notice a massive difference. It should have a lot of smaller buds everywhere. We'll select those out, and we'll probably reduce some of these branches back actually, because some of them are way too long. Like this is just too long. There's quite a few that are too long, but we're just trying to develop them. So I think that's the front in there. Looks quite nice. I think it'll be a nice front eventually. Yeah, we'll have to develop this apex. I think is important. There's a very heavy branch in here that's ugly. We'll need to replace that, but we need a bud to come out through there somewhere. So a bit of work in this tree. Quite a few years of work involved in getting this tree, much better. It's very initial start, but it's got a beautiful foundation, beautiful trunk, beautiful movement. It should be a super tree in a few years' time. Probably, I wouldn't think more than 5 to 10 years you should have a much nicer tree with this tree, but it is a project tree and I'm really looking forward to it. There you go, guys, another tree that's undergone its decandling process, but it's the first time it's done it, so a lot more needle plucking was involved to balance out the tree. And hopefully in May we'll come back and it's all nice and full of smaller buds for us to select. Alright guys, thanks for watching again and see you next time.